My former spouse remarked that no one would choose to marry a woman who cannot bear children. 15 years later, he encountered my children and came to understand that I was never the issue. 15 years ago, I ended my marriage upon uncovering my husband's infidelity with a childhood friend, with whom he also had a child. The individual involved in the affair subjected me to persistent harassment, ultimately leading to my resignation from my position. During my most challenging times, my current husband provided support, and together we created a harmonious and joyful home. Nevertheless, my peace was fleeting. Recently, I had the opportunity to meet my ex-husband for the first time in 15 years. It seems you might still be enjoying the single life, correct? Who would choose to marry someone without the ability to bear children like you? He scoffed. It seems you are unable to express anything positive, aren't you? My son possesses an adorable charm, reminiscent of his mother. With a self-satisfied grin, my ex-husband spoke proudly of his child. Oh, is that so? What an adorable child, I responded with composure. In that regard, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce my children to you as well. The introduction of my son left my ex-husband in a state of shock and unease. My name is Caroline Jones, I am 38 years old, and I reside with my 13-year-old son, Liam, my 11-year-old daughter, Emma, and my husband, Ethan, who shares my age. Liam, during his inaugural year of middle school, is fully immersed in his phase of defiance. Recently, he has displayed a bit of mischief on occasion, but when he truly disregards instructions, my husband Ethan intervenes and corrects his behavior. Emma, in contrast, focuses on makeup and fashion. Being the youngest among the girls, she demonstrates a remarkable ability to navigate situations to her advantage. Liam, who cherishes his younger sister Emma, swiftly becomes anxious when she teasingly warns, "If you're not nice to Mom, I'll begin to dislike you, big brother." He promptly offers his apologies. My apologies. I will treat Mom with kindness, understood? He possesses a clear and engaging charm, consistently bringing energy to any environment. I navigate a dynamic and fulfilling life, yet there is an aspect that remains unknown to many. I am a divorcee currently in my second marriage. I ultimately decided to divorce as a result of my ex-husband's unacceptable betrayal. 15 years ago, my former husband, whom I will refer to as Michael, was my senior at the university. We shared numerous mutual friends and received warm wishes from those around us, creating an atmosphere that felt smooth and full of promise at the beginning of our marriage. We frequently discussed our desire for children, expressing sentiments such as, "I truly wish to have a child soon, and it would be delightful to coordinate outfits when we start a family." We were both eagerly anticipating the opportunity to have children. However, the situation did not unfold as anticipated, and even after a year had elapsed, we still had not been granted the joy of a child. Each month, the onset of my menstrual cycle introduced some tension in our marriage. Both my husband and I did not find it satisfactory, leading us to engage in multiple discussions and invest in costly treatments to identify the underlying cause of our infertility. Despite being informed that everything was normal, we found ourselves unable to advance in enhancing our marital relationship. At first, my husband was supportive and willing to collaborate. As time went on without us having children, he appeared to grow increasingly frustrated, and his demeanor towards me began to shift. "When will I ever become a father?" he exclaimed, delivering a remark laced with sarcasm. His remark suggested that he thought I was the cause of our inability to have children. He ceased to participate in household chores, delegating all responsibilities to me, including cooking, washing dishes, laundry, and cleaning. When I inquired, "May I ask why you abruptly ceased assisting with the household tasks?" he responded, saying, "You used to do it before, as you are unable to conceive. Neglecting housework means not meeting your responsibilities, which undermines the purpose of our marriage." Subsequently, my husband's remarks grew more pointed. "My sister and her husband are anticipating the arrival of their second child. Isn't that wonderful? They are already on their second, while we haven't even had our first," he remarked, directing a piercing gaze at me, filled with disdain and derision. "If you had a typical physique, I would have embraced fatherhood long ago." "How can you assert that I'm not normal when the cause remains unknown?" I replied. "However, my husband mentioned that infertility is often attributed to the woman. Are you aware of that? If I had been aware of your infertility, I would have reconsidered our marriage. It would be appropriate to reflect on your actions." His words struck my heart with the precision of sharp thorns. I started receiving calls from my in-laws, expressing their excitement, saying they can't wait to see a grandchild. Initially, I dismissed it, considering it has only been a year, and bringing a child into the world is indeed a wonderful blessing. However, this appeared to have unintended consequences. My mother-in-law's demeanor grew increasingly severe, criticizing me for my inability to have children. Your sister-in-law completed it in no time. It seems you are the only one who fell short. The daily pressure was a significant burden on me. My best friend, Isabella, extended an invitation for drinks after quite some time apart. Michael, my former spouse, was often occupied with his professional commitments and frequently worked overtime, resulting in his absence from home. At that moment, Isabella revealed some surprising news. "I have been eager to see you for quite some time." She stated that she had something significant to discuss with you. "Caroline, I have also felt your absence. What are your thoughts?" I have provided my response. "Caroline, do you recall Leah?" Leah was a close companion of Michael during their childhood, as they resided in proximity to one another and their families shared a strong bond. Leah is an alumnus of our university and currently holds a position at the same company as I do. Leah, the daughter of the CEO of my company, secured her position through familial ties. During our college years, we did not have a close relationship due to our involvement in different clubs and departments. Even in our professional environment, our interactions were minimal as we were situated in separate divisions. My husband introduced me to Leah, stating, "This is my girlfriend, so I hope you both get along." However, Leah, possibly wishing to maintain her bond with childhood friend Michael, directed a piercing gaze at me. Believing that she had a negative opinion of me, I made an effort to limit our interactions. Leah, with her tall stature and captivating beauty, garnered significant popularity in college, leading her to take part in beauty pageants. The daughter of the CEO, coupled with her striking beauty, positioned her as a notable figure within our office environment. Leah. "Ah, you mean Michael's childhood companion, correct?" "Indeed, I am familiar with her. She possesses remarkable beauty. We work at the same company, yet our interactions are quite limited." "What is the situation regarding her?" I inquired. "It is difficult to determine, but I suspect that your husband and Leah may be involved in an affair," Isabella stated. "What is it?" I was completely taken aback by Isabella's unforeseen warning. "I observed them recently. They were walking hand in hand, suggesting a connection beyond mere friendship." "That is not possible. I recommend that you take a look at it. If you need to discuss anything, feel free to give me a call, understood?" She contributed. "I appreciate you informing me. Michael was engaging in dishonest behavior, and I had my suspicions about it. His conduct towards me was unacceptable, consistently arriving home late and asserting that he needed to work overtime. He was consistently unavailable on weekends, occupied with client engagements. I had an inkling, yet I chose to feign ignorance. On that day, following my farewell with Isabella, I proceeded directly to a detective agency. The purpose was, naturally, to collect proof of my husband's unfaithfulness. In just a week, they gathered all the necessary evidence. However, I was not prepared to initiate the divorce proceedings. Regardless of his flaws, he was the individual I had once committed to sharing my life with. I was unable to make a decision immediately. A few days later, I returned home to discover Michael, who typically arrived late, seated at the dinner table. "Ah, you have returned home," I remarked. "I anticipated that you might arrive late once more today." I intentionally aimed for a sarcastic tone. "I apologize for that. I require a discussion with you," he responded. Upon receiving information about the situation from Isabella, I prepared myself for unfavorable news. "I am seeking a divorce," he stated. "Excuse me, is that the direction we are taking?" I came to understand that he was not merely playing games with Leah. He was earnest in his feelings for her. "Leah is expecting a baby," he continued, stating his intention to marry her. "Leah, your friend from childhood? You mentioned she was merely a friend, and now she is expecting?" I expressed my disbelief, stating that you were involved in an affair. "Do not refer to it as an affair. Haha, that gives off an unflattering impression. It seems unavoidable, doesn't it? Leah has the ability to conceive. She possesses remarkable beauty, and I see no justification for selecting you in preference to her," Michael stated, his audacious demeanor leaving me in disbelief. He believed he had acted appropriately. Noticing my silence, Michael smirked and remarked, "My mom has been urging me to end our marriage. She states that Leah possesses greater beauty, kindness, and the ability to bear children. She consistently preferred her over others. This will bring her joy." I was aware that they consistently favored Leah. Emotions surged within me. I have organized my belongings. I need to return to Leah regarding her forthcoming baby. He expressed amusement. With that, Michael departed from the residence. I lacked the ability to intervene effectively. Subsequently, a unilateral divorce document was received. A note tucked inside bore a woman's handwriting, requesting the prompt divorce of her husband. The conflicting statements left me with a sense of confusion. I truly wished to respond, "No, it was you who took my husband away." Upon reading those words, I was abruptly brought back to reality. I found myself grappling with numerous questions in my mind. What is the reason for the blame directed towards me? I cannot simply acquiesce to this divorce without expressing my thoughts. With resolve, I submitted the evidence I had collected from the detective agency and initiated the process for divorce mediation. A few days following the submission, I received a call from an unfamiliar number. Curious about the caller's identity, I picked up the phone and was met with a woman's voice urgently demanding, "What do you think you're doing? What prompted you to initiate legal proceedings?" It was Leah, the companion of Michael. "It is quite expected, wouldn't you agree? I am fully aware of your unprofessional conduct. I believe it is appropriate for me to request compensation," I responded. "Compensation details? I am expecting a child. How can you be so heartless at a time when I need money for the baby?" she exclaimed. "Who is exhibiting unkind behavior in this situation?" "You are the individual associated with a married man," I responded. "You are the one who is unable to conceive, you despicable individual." Her piercing voice was quite jarring to my ears. "I intend to address the divorce, including matters of compensation, in a formal environment." I suggested we discuss it further, and then I ended the call. Throughout the mediation process, the substantial evidence presented led to the acknowledgement of infidelity in Michael and Leah's relationship. Michael attempted to attribute my infertility as a reason, but the court rejected his assertion as unfounded due to the lack of definitive evidence regarding my infertility within merely a year of our marriage. I received a lump sum payment of $20,000 as alimony from Michael and $110,000 from Leah. I aimed to avoid prolonging any financial connections with them, leading to the finalization of our divorce. Nonetheless, my challenges did not conclude at that point. Given that Michael, Leah, and I attended the same university, the situation became a subject of discussion among numerous acquaintances. A close friend mentioned that there were rumors suggesting I concealed my infertility before marrying Michael. Certain individuals expressed understanding towards Michael and Leah. "That's unfortunate. Leah and I are still single, and I understand we work at the same company." Speculations circulate within the workplace as well. All parties aligned with Leah, the daughter of the esteemed company president, who portrayed herself as a victim, her eyes filled with tears. Caroline is being quite unreasonable, insisting on alimony just as I'm preparing to welcome a new baby. She concealed her infertility, weeping as she sought compassion. Initially, I attempted to overlook the situation, but given that Leah is the president's daughter, my superiors reprimanded me, insisting that I should not mistreat her. Despite my diligent efforts, I found myself consistently excluded from significant projects. Ultimately, I reached a stage where I had no choice but to resign. During my job search, I was approached by another company for a potential opportunity. They expressed the need for someone as diligent and capable as you. In this new environment, I excelled beyond my expectations. My supervisor genuinely invested time in recognizing me as a unique individual. In contrast to my former workplace, there was a complete absence of favoritism towards the boss's daughter or any form of nepotism. I was captivated by an exceptional leader, who ultimately became my current husband, Ethan. Ethan provided invaluable support during my most challenging moments following the difficult breakup with Michael. Following numerous dinners together, our conversations evolved beyond professional topics to include personal matters, which naturally led to the development of a romantic relationship. Our relationship was progressing positively, and I am pleased to share that Ethan proposed to me. Nevertheless, burdened by my history, I shared my concerns about infertility with him. Then Ethan looked at me with genuine eyes and said, "Of course, I would be pleased if we have children in the future. However, the most significant aspect is that my feelings for you, Caroline, are profound. You hold immense significance in my life. Regardless of our circumstances, my commitment to you remains unwavering." With that, he embraced me softly. I experienced genuine happiness. I reached the conclusion that I wished to dedicate my life to this man, and made the decision to marry Ethan. Not long after tying the knot with Ethan, we proudly welcomed our first child, a son named Liam. Shortly thereafter, we welcomed our second child, a daughter named Emma. The challenges in conceiving with Michael may have stemmed from timing or compatibility factors. Parenting presents its challenges, yet we find joy in our daily lives. On a particular day, I found myself at a friend's wedding ceremony. As the wedding progressed to its midpoint, with guests engaging in conversation and exchanging pleasantries, I rose from my seat to make my way to the restroom. It was during that moment, after a span of 15 years, that I encountered my ex-husband, the individual who had chosen to part ways with me. What a surprise to see him here, I thought. For a brief moment, I found myself at a loss for words, but then it came back to me that today's bride and groom were our friends from university. It was unavoidable that my ex-husband was present. I attempted to pass by unnoticed, but he called out loudly, "Hey!" He acknowledged my presence in the end. "What do you mean? You're here as well? It has been some time since our last meeting. It seems you've experienced some weight gain." Michael, appearing to be under the influence, was speaking in a loud manner and unintentionally spitting while conversing with me. "You remain unchanged, maintaining your signature sarcasm," I noted internally. Subsequently, my former spouse summoned his family to come over. Leah was accompanied by her son. Leah, upon noticing my presence, chuckled and remarked, "Oh my, it's been quite a while since we last met. Have you gained some weight? Could it be stress eating? We have certainly experienced a great deal together. Are you still experiencing infertility? At this moment, it seems unlikely that anyone would be interested in you, haha." Their rude behavior left me utterly speechless. At that moment, I observed their son with his gaze lowered, a flush of embarrassment evident on his face. He possessed strikingly attractive features. My apologies for not introducing him earlier. This is my child. He appears charming. Similar to Leah, correct? Leah confidently shared her son's accomplishments. He possesses striking looks, intelligence, and remarkable brilliance. It appears that we are the only ones expressing joy in this situation, amusingly enough. The couple smiled at me, confidently showcasing their son. Nonetheless, the son displayed a peculiar expression on his face, which piqued my interest slightly. He appeared to be becoming more and more discontent with his parents' tendency to belittle others in his presence. I considered that he is likely a very kind child. However, I did not have the opportunity to engage with them. Just as I was preparing to depart, Michael firmly grasped my arm. Michael expressed his lingering resentment, stating, "You divorced me due to infertility, and yet you still had the audacity to take money from us," reflecting on an event that occurred 15 years prior. I believed that if anyone had the right to hold a grudge, it would be me. Then Leah directed her attention towards me. "Indeed, you are facing challenges with infertility and are currently single. What is the purpose of having financial resources? Families with children require this to a greater extent. Please return double the amount that was taken previously." I was taken aback by their lack of consideration for others. At that moment, Michael's son expressed his thoughts. Single refers to the state of being unmarried, correct? However, he noted that she is wearing a wedding ring on her left hand. Michael and Leah observed my left ring finger intently. "Are you married?" All eyes were on Michael and Leah as they raised their voices in a dramatic display. I found myself feeling quite embarrassed. While contemplating my next steps, a familiar face unexpectedly came into view. "Auntie and Uncle, it would be best to keep the volume down during a celebration like this. It is causing inconvenience to others. It would be beneficial to show greater consideration. Mom, who are these intimidating individuals?" Liam and Emma were the individuals involved. Indeed, my children, Liam and Emma, concerned about my tardiness, took the initiative to come and check on me. Emma consistently expresses her thoughts openly, yet it was uncommon for Liam to articulate himself in such a bold manner. "Mother, you have arrived later than expected." "Oh, do you have children, Mom?" I affirmatively responded, "Yes, I do. I would like to present them. This is my son, Liam, and my daughter, Emma." Michael was taken aback to witness the children of the woman he believed to be infertile. Leah observed my son with great focus. After a while, they started to converse in a low, murmuring tone, their voices sounding strained and hoarse. "That attire?" they inquired, intrigued by my son's outfit. "Indeed, he arrived directly from school alongside my husband, so he remains in his uniform," I responded. "Not that, I mean that attire. It originates from that renowned private middle school, correct?" they inquired. "Absolutely." Liam dedicated himself and expressed a desire to pursue this opportunity, so we permitted him to take the exam. He successfully passed and has been enrolled in that private middle school since this year, I explained. My son performed exceptionally well in his studies and was enrolled in a prestigious school in the area. It's hard to believe that he could be your son. My daughter as well. Next year, she intends to take the exam at the same school, I added. Indeed, Liam demonstrates exceptional qualities. He secured victory in a violin contest, Emma remarked. Violin? I believed I was familiar with this boy. Leah mentioned that he appeared on television recently. Ah, you noticed that? Indeed, he has been receiving significant media coverage recently. He returned from violin practice today, as I confirmed. No, this cannot happen. Leah and my ex-husband were notably at a loss for words. You were expected to be unable to conceive. What could lead to children behaving in this manner? Michael hesitated in his speech. To the flustered Michael, I conveyed with poise, "You both seem happy and that's wonderful. As you can observe, I am also experiencing a sense of joy. Kindly, let's refrain from further involvement. Currently, there is no connection between us." As I was preparing to depart with my children, my husband, Ethan, arrived. "Greetings, how may I assist you today?" "The primary event is set to commence again," he stated. Upon seeing my husband, Michael's complexion turned ashen. "Mr. Lopez, the esteemed president?" Leah also became visibly distressed, acknowledging my husband. They inquired if your husband is, perhaps, the young Mr. Lopez who assumed the role of president of residence last year. My husband, Ethan, held the position of president at a parent company associated with Leah's father's firm. Throughout my job search, I was contacted by the parent company and decided to make the transition. In my new role, I encountered my future husband, Ethan, who was already well regarded and highly proficient. Last year, Ethan was appointed as the president of the company, following a recommendation from the previous president. "Greetings, I am Lopez. What is the nature of this atmosphere? Could you please clarify what occurred?" Perceiving the tense environment, my husband appeared perplexed. At that moment, my son, Liam, expressed his thoughts. Upon overhearing individuals labeling my mother as infertile and overweight, Emma and I decided to step in and offer our support. "Did you catch that?" Liam and Emma appear to have overheard the disrespectful remarks made by my ex-husband and his wife. That is the reason Liam communicated in that way earlier. "You all are, excuse me, what?" Understanding the situation, my husband's demeanor became serious. I was aware of the rumors, yet I did not anticipate such a deficiency in decorum. Then Michael abruptly began providing justifications to my husband. "No, I mean, Mr. Lopez, the president, it would be highly inappropriate for me to speak negatively about the wife of President Lopez, correct?" "Is that correct?" Leah expressed her dissent. "Why are you seeking favor with this woman's husband?" I experienced the consequences of her actions, facing issues with my father due to the loss of my money. I will not forgive her. Leah, consider your words carefully before expressing them. If he has a negative opinion of us, our subcontracting company will be in jeopardy, Michael remarked, beginning to compliment my husband while Leah voiced her objections. They commenced a debate. I found it truly astonishing, I reflected. Then their son, who had remained quiet, exclaimed, "Let's put an end to this now. I have been observing the situation, and it is quite disheartening to hear how my parents are discussing this woman, labeling her in derogatory terms and then insisting on a refund. I find it quite uncomfortable. And what's this about an affair? Am I a child born from an affair? Am I an unwanted child? Hearing their son's tearful plea, Michael and Leah started to become visibly unsettled. Well, it's not like that, they stammered. I realized that the other attendees around us were staring at us. Finally noticing the stares from around us, Leah blushed deeply and looked down. Although I couldn't forgive Michael and Leah, I admired their son for his strong sense of justice and kindness. He had nothing to do with this. Thinking this, I hurriedly tried to back up their son, but before I could say anything, my husband spoke up. "Thank you for defending my wife from the insults. You really are a kind child," he said, patting the boy's head. Continuing, I also spoke up with a smile, "But maybe I am a bit chubby." "That's not true at all," my husband replied. "Indeed, I am expecting a child." I remarked, gently caressing my abdomen, that my belly has been expanding. At that time, I was expecting our third child. To the child with tear-filled eyes, I said, "Your mother also carried you with great care in her womb. You are valued and deserving of love. Your parents hold deep affection for you and take pride in your accomplishments, correct?" With that said, I turned my gaze towards Michael and Leah. The boy inquired of them, "Truly?" They promptly acknowledged and affirmed, "Yes, yes, you are our pride. Your significance to us is highly valued." The boy instantly lit up with a smile. Observing his smile brought me a sense of relief. "Let us return to our seats for the time being. Today marks a moment of joy," I stated. Each family returned to their designated seats, bringing the tumultuous scene to a close. The wedding concluded successfully, and as we made our way to the station, Leah and Michael approached, hand in hand with their son. Liam and Emma exhibited a strong sense of protectiveness towards me, yet my husband managed to diffuse the situation with a light-hearted chuckle. "I apologize for the inconvenience. We sincerely apologize for the delay and express our regret for all that has transpired today. Thank you for your assistance earlier." This marked the first apology I had received from them in 15 years. It is possible that becoming parents has influenced their behavior to some extent. I responded with a laugh and said, "Truly? Is it really after all this time?" With that single phrase, I decisively turned my back on them and commenced my departure. Liam kindly offered to assist with my bags and chose the one that had the maternity label on it. Emma confidently stated, "Here you go," and elegantly draped a coat over my shoulders. Despite their youth, they are attentively supporting me throughout my pregnancy. This evening's dinner will feature my father's expertly crafted hamburgers, a favorite of both Liam and Emma, I announced. "That tout est voix. We appreciate your support," they expressed with enthusiasm. I committed to safeguarding the happiness of my cherished family, leaving behind the sorrows of the past.